Hey knitters, welcome back to Rena Knits. Do you like warm feet? I do, especially when I'm going to bed. I want to keep my socks on and just feel warm. Simple socks that can be made in a day. Bed socks. Socks that you could wear at home all the time without worrying about a thing. And socks that you could wear in your bed. That's what we're going to be making in this week's video. We're going to make bed socks. Now for bed socks we're going to use a bulky yarn. So I'm using this Lion Brand Yarns Hometown USA yarn with a weight of 6. So it's a super bulky yarn. And I'm going to use US size 8 needles in order to create my socks. To create these bulky socks, what I'm going to do is cast on 27 stitches. Now these stitches are for a woman size 7 socks. So the other measurements I'll have in the description that explains if you have smaller feet or bigger feet, or if you want to use men's, if you want to create one for men's or one for children. But we're going to cast on 27 stitches. Once you've cast on 27 stitches, what we're going to do is basically the rib design. So what we're going to do is knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 all the way along. So my row 1 would be a knit 1, purl 1, and I'm going to continue these 2 stitches, so knit 1, purl 1 till the end of the row. My row 2 would be purl 1, so just the opposite. And you could do is you could go by the way the stitches are coming up. So this is a purl, this is a knit, a purl, a knit. So you could continue on the same way, because so you're going to purl on top of the purl and knit on top of the knit. And row 2 you would continue with 1 purl, 1 knit till the end of the row. And basically what you're going to do is these 2 rows you're going to repeat, row 1 and 2, till your project measures 16.5 inches. Once you have knit about up to 16.5 inches, you will now bind off and stitch and sew everything together. So what I would do once you finish knitting the length, the 16.5 inch length, I would cut off about about 4 long strands of yarn. So I usually measure the length of my project. So I would measure the length of my project, and 4 times I would cut it off. I will then take my sewing needle and put it through here. What I would do first is move all my stitches onto my other needle, because I want this part on the back. I want this part on the back side rather than the front side for the sewing. Now I would take my sewing needle and put it through all my stitches. I would then tighten it. Now with this particular pattern, it doesn't matter what the back or the front side is, so we're just going to start stitching it together. So in this case, what I'm going to do is take my sewing needle and go through a few stitches on this side. And then a few stitches on the opposite. And tighten it. Then again, a few stitches on this side. And then a few stitches on the opposite. And you would continue this for a bit. So about this point, what I'm going to do now is start stitching just normally back and forth. What I'm going to do is tighten it this way. And then do the opposite side. And just tighten it. This is just to make sure that it doesn't come loose. And then we just do normal stitching. And you want to make sure you go every stitch to avoid any holes. Once you're near the top, you want to make sure that everything is together. So we're just going to do a few stitches and we're going to cut the extra yarn afterwards. And then to avoid this, what we're going to do is just stitch a few strands. So we're just going to stitch a few times and tighten it. Now we want to also make sure we double knot, just to make sure that it doesn't come loose. And we're going to do this one here. And then we'll just take it through a few stitches to lock it in place. And at this point, we're going to just start locking it. And we're going to do that one more time. And then we're going to cut the extra yarns. Now because this is the side we decided to do our sewing, what I'm going to do is just flip this over. Here you have your sock. Don't forget, you have to make the other sock as well, but you knew that. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be notified of the latest knitting projects, knitting ideas, and much more. Relax, enjoy, and keep knitting.